Hello and welcome to Wonder Girl Tarot. This is your reading for the week of July 20th through the 26th, 2020. It's a general reading for anyone who feels called to watch the video, as well as for my returning viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you if you have subscribed to the channel or liked or commented on a video. It means so much to me, and I really appreciate it. I have shuffled the deck and drawn 3 cards. The first is going to represent Monday and Tuesday, the second Wednesday and Thursday, and the third Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But these may be energies that come and go throughout the week and aren't restricted to those particular days. Before I begin the reading, also I've drawn 2 cards from the Wildwood Tarot to act as a bit of added advice and guidance. And normally I just pick one, but this week 2 of them came out. So we'll see what they have to say. Before I begin the reading, I'm going to read a poem, as always, and this week I've got an old favorite by Yeats called The Lake Isle of Innisfree. I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin build there, of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's gray. I hear it in the deep heart's core. So I'll turn over the cards and we'll see what we've got. And usually there's some kind of resonance between the poem and the cards. So for Monday and Tuesday, we have the Wheel of Fortune. For Wednesday and Thursday, the Page of Cups. They're both in the reverse. And for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 9 of Pentacles, also in the reverse. And under the deck, we have the World. So the underlying energy has something to do with cycles completing, things that end and then begin in their ending. And it can also be literally something to do with the world. So long distance travel, people or things that are of value to you that are at a distance to you. And also sometimes, being far from your family or your home country. There's something to do with distance. And it's interesting that all these cards are in the reverse. Reversed cards can mean either the opposite of the regular meaning of the card, an energy, the regular energy of the card being sometimes sort of blocked, or it can be that that energy is more internal rather than external. And that last one is kind of what I'm getting. And I just sort of have the urge to flip them in the upright. But of course, I'll take into account that they came out in the reverse. Because I'm thinking it could also be a week where there's the potential for it to be either way for you, either in the reverse or the upright. And yeah. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune has to do with some kind of sudden change or upheaval, a lucky break, a piece of sudden good fortune. It can be, bad fortune too, but usually it's a positive card. And really it has to do with those changes that leave your life wearing a completely new aspect. Like the wheel turns. I always think of, I've spoken of this before, but I always am reminded of when I went to the Met as a child, the opera, and they have this really great stage there where it turns, and in between scenes, in between acts, the whole stage will turn and a new scene will be revealed. So it could be that you're moving somewhere, that you've got a new job, a new relationship, that something has dramatically shifted in your life. You come into money, everything looks different. But because I was getting that kind of internal energy, I'm thinking that that it's actually something more fundamental that's inside you. So I'm thinking that your perspective on your life, on the world, on certain situations in your life or people is undergoing a pretty dramatic change. Kind of like the tectonic plates of your character and perspective are beginning to rumble and shift in some way, or maybe they're shifting altogether. And this could have to do somehow with emotions, because we have the Page of Cups here. So cups represent emotions, they're the water element. The Page of Cups is the youngest in the suit of cups. So it's kind of like somebody who's just learning to feel things, to love. It can also be creativity, the kind of like the knockings of a creative urge, something that wants to be born. It's very nascent. It's like your first love, or that new project when it's still in its fragile stages and you don't want to talk about it to anyone because you don't want it to be blown away, by some harsh gust of wind. But I'm really noticing the red tulips here that he's got, and in the language of flowers, which I don't know that much about, but you know how flowers have symbolism, and I love tulips, and I happen to know the meaning of tulips. So when you want to ask somebody's forgiveness, you give them white tulips. And red tulips, though, stand for eternal love. So it could be that you've got like a crush on somebody, but it actually has the potential to bloom into something that's really enduring. And likewise, you could have some little nudge of creative inspiration for a project or a new venture of some sort, and it's something that's really going to stand the test of time. So even though you're like this, it's like this baby, this new fragile thing, it actually has substance to it, or it can have substance to it. And I'm thinking that this could also be like a new perspective on life, a new outlook. So maybe in the past you've become a little bit jaded in some way, or negative or cynical, and for some reason that's changing, and you're finding yourself experiencing some new emotions or new perspectives that leave you feeling like a child, like somebody who's newly born. But that this new perspective, this shift, is something that has the potential to last and really change the course of your life. And I think it's going to leave you feeling a lot more abundant. Like because we have the Nine of Pentacles here, so this is the person who feels very comfortable in their own skin, who's learned how to feather their nest and take care of their material world. They're very comfortable with themselves. They have a lot of kind of proper pride. Usually this woman is shown in a garden. She's always richly clad, and she always has a bird. So it's interesting because it's an earth card. Pentacles are our material reality. But the bird makes me think of inspiration and like the spirit, right? Connection to spirit or spirituality in some way. And so I think that this new emotional perspective, however it shows up in your life, may also affect your material reality. So if it's if it's an artistic idea and it has the potential to endure, it could bring you some success, or at the very least a sense of well-being and internal well-being and prosperity. And if it's a move to another part of the world, another country, right now that might seem intimidating and overwhelming and just like a lot all at once, but it's actually going to give you a place to stand in the world, and that you're going to benefit and gain from it. And it could be because the card showed up in the reverse that at the moment you may be struggling in your material reality, or with your health, or anything that has to do with what you touch and feel, like your living situation. Perhaps it's not abundant or beautiful in the way that you would like it to be, but I think you're going to be experiencing a shift on the inside where you begin to feel more abundant, and that's going to create a kind of domino effect onto your material reality. So it seems like a very propitious week. And it's interesting because usually when the cards show up in the reverse, I really feel I read it in the sense of the opposite. But this week I just get this strong sense that it's because the shifts are going inwards rather than outwards. And of course that's where all change has to occur first. It's like they say in like people who talk about the law of attraction and stuff, that you have to feel it and believe it in order for it to happen. So I'm getting a big sense of that this week. That it's the and with stuff like the law of attraction, sometimes people try really hard and like they say all these affirmations, but they actually don't feel it, and nothing really changes. And people say that it's actually when you can experience it on the inside that things begin to shift on the outside. So I'm getting that feeling from the reading, that it's like some kind of realignment is occurring inside you that's going to alter the outside. All right, so moving on to these advice cards, we have the Seer. That's the High Priestess in the regular tarot. And the Eight of Vessels, which is Eight of Cups in regular in the normal Rider-Waite. Although here it has a different meaning. In the Rider-Waite, Eight of Cups is like walking away from something that no longer satisfies you, going in search of something else. And in this deck they call it rebirth. So it's like a renewal and a rebirth. But I'll read the messages from the book and see what they have to say. So for the Seer, and she's like a sort of shaman type person from the Celtic tradition. The time has come to focus your power and let it flow through you. Many dreams or desires related to the creative, emotional process are ready to be applied in your day-to-day life, and you must now give vent to those hidden or suppressed longings. So that's like the Page of Cups, something bubbling up. This may also relate to healing sexual relationships or partnerships. Now the manifestation of inner spiritual or esoteric insights into your practical and physical daily life will bring profound rewards and results. So that's what I was talking about here. The emotional change leading to material change. It is a sign of maturity. The seer also relates to creative impulses such as art, mechanical skills, and crafts, and the joy of bringing pleasure and knowledge to others. So I'm thinking that maybe if you're getting these new insights and new perspectives, this may be something that in the future is going to benefit other people, your friends and family and anyone else that you encounter, when you begin to see the world in this sweeter and more loving way, or when you follow your artistic inspirations and create something beautiful that's going to bring a lot of joy to other people. And then we have the Eight of Vessels. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. They say, rejoice, a time of renewal and potential is here. The cycle of rebirth and healing brings inner peace and confidence. Once you accept that all the blessings and gifts of life can be yours, or indeed already belong to you, the fear of asking is gone. So that's like the law of attraction type stuff. It is time to shed the skin of the past and accept and utilize the overflowing potential of the present that is freely available to you. And overflowing, we have like this fish leaping out of the cup. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. Do not be afraid to ask, why not me? See potential where others see only barriers. See challenge as others see only impossible odds. Apply all that you have learned through experience and toil to any problem, and you will not fail. You have striven to survive and absorb insight. You have endured loss to retain your integrity. And the Wheel of Fortune, when things change, it can sometimes be like what you used to have is taken away. But it's making way for better things. All of these trials have made you stronger, wiser, and more effective. Drink of this new fountain of opportunity and renew your life objectives. You have endured the past. Its gifts were hard won. Now the challenge of the future unfolds. Grasp it and shape it in your hands as you would have it manifest in your life. So very positive. And I'm just thinking also of the poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree, that maybe right now you're still, I'll just read that last stanza. I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's gray. I hear it in the deep heart's core. So maybe your external life still feels a bit like standing on the gray pavements and roadway, but you hear this call. Something is calling you to go away to this more magical place, this more magical and beautiful perspective and way of seeing things. And it's something that's stirring in your own heart and that has the potential to endure. So I hope this is a wonderful week for you. Please take very good care. Leave me a comment if this resonates, or if it makes sense to you and you feel inspired to share. But otherwise, yes, thank you so much for watching, and I will be back with another video like this next Sunday. Until then, bye-bye.